Surveillance and Reconnaissance, ISR, told reporters. But what actually happens during the flight, we are not privy to that information. From what little information has been provided to the contractors, Gilbert said that the Super Tucano has been performing well during the experiment. I would say that the flying has been going very well. We're very pleased with the effort. We are flying an average of twice a day, Gilbert said. We've done some, mostly day flying but also some night flying. And the aircraft is holding up well. Most of the flights, so far, have been, to the best of our knowledge, pretty straightforward, nothing really unusual. In the coming weeks, Gilbert said that he expects the difficulty level to sharply increase. We are looking forward to what some would see as some of the more demanding aspects of evaluation, things like the unimproved fuel landings, Gilbert said. We understand that most of that has been pushed to the very end of the evaluation. However, most aspects of the Air Force's OX efforts remain shrouded behind a veil of secrecy, but the contractors were forewarned. The Air Force has been very clear from the very beginning of this effort that the Air Force participants in the experiment, the pilots and the weapon systems officers, would not be allowed to provide us any feedback at all on their likes, dislikes, mission performance, etc., from the evaluation flights, Gilbert said. Indeed, while the contractors prepare the planes for flight and perform all of the logistical functions, they have no insight into the nature of the OX experiment whatsoever. We provide all of the logistics, support, and maintenance on the ground, Gilbert said. So we're there to prepare the airplane, to launch the airplane, and to recover it. But once they take off and head out over the horizon, that's what they do with it as part of their evaluation is known only to them. Sierra Nevada hopes that the Air Force will provide the company with some feedback once the experiment is over. Whether or not this becomes a program or not, we want to use the feedback to improve the aircraft, just as we have continued to use feedback over the life of the A-29 to continue to modernize, improve it, and make it even more capable, Gilbert said. Overall, though the Air Force has not provided the contractors with much feedback on the performance of their planes, the Gilbert is optimistic about this new approach to the acquisitions process. I'm pleasantly surprised in that vein, in that while this requires additional investment from industry because under the OTA contract that we have with the US Air Force to run this experiment, we shoulder a lot of the costs of this effort, Gilbert said. But I recognize what the Air Force is trying to do. They're trying to look at new ways of acquiring capabilities, new ways to evaluate capabilities, and ways to expedite getting those capabilities into the hands of our warfighters, who are out on the front lines. So my expectations on Air Force acquisition have been enhanced as I see the Air Force is willing to do things differently to try to solve some very old problems. Ultimately,